Good morning and welcome back to another video on the channel, everyone. Well, in yesterday's video, we talked about the situation with FTX and Alameda and how it can impact Solana. And because you guys did receive that video so well, I wanted to make a follow-up and update about more things that are happening and more developments that are coming out that are, in my opinion, quite concerning. So let's not waste any more time at all and let's get straight into today's video. So what we can see here is, of course, that FTX is taking a beating. The FTT token itself is down about 30% today as a result of an increase of 90% in volume, up to $1.4 billion in volume. That is absolutely insane. It just goes to show the amount of this token that is being moved right now. The fully diluted market cap is down 30%, so is the market cap itself. Of course, this does relate to us getting down to about $15.70, which is absolutely crazy just considering that we were at $25 last week. Now, as a result of all this, we can obviously see this huge decrease in the price here, and even in times where we are seeing, some type of growth from $15 up towards $18, it is being eaten up near immediately back to the downside as people are getting more and more skeptical, especially as withdrawals have been paused, which we are going to talk about a little bit later on in the video. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that we are seeing a little bit of something concerning happening that answers questions from yesterday's video. Well, some of you said, well, there's a fine line between Alameda and FTX, right? A lot of what is going on in Alameda isn't necessarily directly linked to FTX. They're basically two separate entities just run by the same person. Now, I don't believe that to ever really be possible, but we have information now that shows that that's not really the case. So Dylan LeClaire has been following this situation very closely. Go check out his Twitter, but he posts that of all of the things that give me cause for concern, number one is that FTX is getting drained of reserves from withdrawals. Alameda is sending stables from its trading wallets to the FTX hot wallet. Coincidence, or are the lines blurred between the two entities more than was led on? As you can see here, according to CryptQuant, that this thing is absolutely getting battered. The reserves are down, almost completely from what we saw just about, 8 days ago, 9 days ago, all the way. And even in times like this, where we can see that the reserves get filled up, they're immediately getting drained to try to process some of these withdrawals that we're seeing. Kind of like I don't want to call it a bank run, but it's what it's starting to look like, right? Now, according to the on-chain movements from what we saw from 2 days ago, all of this has been substantially coming from almost everywhere that they have money. We can see here that Alameda has transferred a large amount of stablecoins to OXF233, and then a transfer of another large amount of stables from Gate, Huobi, OKX, KuCoin to the FTX hot wallets itself to help them deal with withdrawals. So we can clearly see here that there is a direct link from Alameda to FTX, and they are now starting to withdraw money from some of their trading accounts, from some of their farms, even at losses right now, in order to try to defend the FTT token and to replenish their withdrawals and to replenish the reserves themselves. So we can very clearly see that they are fighting, which is great, and that's a good sign to show that they are capable of holding up to this point. But as this becomes more and more worrying, it is, it's kind of like the word death spiral gets used too much, but it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what we got 13 hours ago from FTX was a message saying that they wanted to thank their team for working tirelessly to process the backlog of withdrawals that we could see there for context. Now, this was kind of a follow-up from what we saw yesterday, in which they said that Bitcoin withdrawals were backed up because their nodes were throughput limited, in which they were going to switch it to processing from both ends, which should help speed it up. They also said that stablecoins were taking a while because banks are closed, and so obviously having the USD to stablecoin creation and redemptions might be a little slower until wires clear. So it seemed as if they had a bit of a general realistic reason as to why things were slow and why withdrawals were taking a while. But what we can see is that according to on-chain data, that the last withdrawal that was processed, or the last outgoing transaction from FTX on the Ethereum blockchain, took place at 6:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which was roughly 3 hours ago, and there has not been any outgoing payments or transactions since then. Now, there is no way of knowing, is this them stopping withdrawals? Of course, we will have to wait to see what the team itself does say. But considering the fact that we are in a situation where Alameda was starting to drain its supply, drain its trading accounts, drain its holdings on things like Huobi, OKX, KuCoin, etc., in order to try to defend FTT to continue to process withdrawals and try to maintain this business, and now we're in a situation in which all withdrawals have halted for a couple hours, one can only assume that that things may not be looking the best right now. So it is extremely important to pay very close attention to how this goes out. As this thing does continue to develop, I am going to let you guys know what is happening. Of course, my opinion is that things do look sketchy. They do look worrying, and I wouldn't necessarily go ahead and say that FTX is going to fall. I do believe they truly do have hundreds of $millions in assets, but even some of the biggest corporations, when they get hit this hard, when they have bank runs, when everyone wants their money out, especially in an environment that we're in like right now, things can get ugly very fast, and some of those reserves, as we have seen, can dry up really quickly. So with that said, I will continue again to update you as this does play out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think is happening, and how do you think it's going to play out? And maybe the person who guesses it right can get a little bit of a reward, but do let me know down there. I will be in the comments interacting with you. But with that said, that's going to be about it for today's update. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.